Hello everyone, it's Jezreel with House Cello Academy back with another video analyzing the vibrato techniques of some of the greatest cellists in history. The cellist for today is one of my favorite cellists of all time, the legendary Daniil Shafran. Daniil Shafran was born in Petrograd, later Leningrad, then St. Petersburg. His mother must have been exhausted. This Russian cellist is one of the most unique and controversial cellists with his crazy fingerings, idiosyncratic interpretations, and otherworldly vibrato sound. But that's exactly why I love him. Too many cellists out there are just trying to play like everyone else. But Shafran seems straight allergic to convention. He draws his bow differently than other cellists. He holds his cello more upright than most. His cello is not even full-sized. And these quirks are actually the least weird parts. Here's a great example of what I mean. Now, in case you missed it, I'll try to explain in cello terms first. He just used thumb vibrato in first position in a slow lyrical piece. Now, let me translate for the non-cellists out there. What the f***? Using the thumb in first position in a passage like this is basically the cello equivalent to passing a volleyball with your... You can absolutely do it, and it might work, but also why? But when it comes to Daniil Shafran, it's best not to ask why. Instead, we should ask how. How does he manage to play everything so wrong, yet so right at the same time? It's like he's doing magic. First of all, Shafran was incredibly disciplined, practicing 5 to 8 hours a day, and basically never missed a practice session during his entire 60-year career. Shafran regularly performed with bandages on his fingertips, with the sole purpose of allowing him to continue practicing and performing. This guy was the David Goggins of cello. During a typhoon in Japan, Shafran famously locked himself in his hotel room and rode out the storm by practicing his cello the entire time. I can only imagine the poor Japanese guy in the room next to him.
Oh, 200 people died. Whew. Wait till you hear about my problem. This guy, he thinks he's a Mozart.
After many years of intense practice routines, Shafran developed rather large calluses on his fingertips. This inevitably aided in the creation of his signature vibrato. Shafran's vibrato is truly out of this world. He's capable of the fastest and widest vibrato I've personally ever heard. So how does he manage to produce such an intense vibrato? Well, vibrato is created through the rapid oscillation of pitch. On the cello, this pitch oscillation is caused by the finger moving up and down the string. To create a controlled vibrato, however, the finger must stay glued to the fingerboard, simply rolling back and forth to raise and lower the pitch. Shafran's large hands and wide calloused fingertips give him an edge in creating a wider vibrato due to the increased surface area. Another factor is the instrument he played. His cello, awarded to him at 14, was undersized at just 3/4 the size of a standard cello. The smaller size contributed to his ability to effortlessly create a wider vibrato when needed. But his vibrato is much more than simply the shape and size of his cello and hands. He specifically fostered this vibrato through intentional techniques that can absolutely be replicated with practice. So, let's get into some analysis, shall we? Now, there's a few things that you should notice about his technique. First of all, he strategically places his unused fingers in the path of the string. This actually decreases the size of his hand, essentially. Makes it a bit smaller and more agile. He's keeping the center of gravity in line with the string, and there's no excess weight off to one side to create an imbalance. Demonstrating on each finger, it would look like so. Third finger, this finger is curled up, and these fingers are curled up like so, right? They're not off to the side like this, they're right about here. Okay? Second finger, same deal. These are curled up down here, and this one is kind of pulled back. Okay? first finger, and these ones are all curled up. So he tries to keep his hand as small as possible. Another thing that you'll notice about his technique, and this is quite rare from what I've seen, this knuckle right here tends to be quite flat, and his fingers will curve into this hook shape while he's vibrating. This shape allows him to lower the center of gravity of the fingers during the vibrato. On top of this, the closer his knuckles are to the fingerboard, the fingertip will actually cover more distance with less movement of the arm. Notice how much movement is needed from the arm to cover that much distance when the knuckles are way up here. But when you lower them, I'm hardly even moving the arm, and I'm still getting just as much distance. This technique also utilizes the bending of the finger joints to make up distance rather than simply rocking the finger from side to side. Now you might wonder why an accomplished cellist would hold his fingers in such a seemingly tense manner, but I think he was actually a lot more relaxed than might be obvious. You see, Shafran was able to relax his hand into the string, allowing his finger to collapse into this position, relaxing key muscles that might hold it in a more natural position, but for him this was actually quite natural, to sort of relax into this hook shape and coming back out like so. Now, he does hold a lot of his fingers in that position even during the vibrato, which does seem quite tense. However, I think that there is a somewhat relaxed way to do this. You see, there's a difference between holding your hand like this and your fingers being just solid as a rock. Compare that to being able to just gradually pull them back to where they're just sort of floating there. If they were manipulated, they would move quite easily. You can do this without tons of tension, but it is quite difficult. And I will say that Shafran's particular hands may have just been perfect for this technique. So I'll demonstrate real quick. First finger. Notice how I'm lowering the center of gravity by bringing my knuckles down and into the string. So the finger's kind of hooked on top rather than being up here. It's down here, right? I'm also rolling each one of the finger joints, right? As much rolling as possible. And these fingers here are curled up to make the hand as small as possible. Same deal with the second finger. Okay, lowering your center of gravity, bringing it into the string, hook shape, roll the finger, make it nice and relaxed. These finger joints need to be nice and relaxed, but at the same time strong enough to keep it glued to the string. Wrap your head around that, right? These fingers here curled up to make the hands small. Now, if you do want to attempt these techniques, I have a little bit of advice for you. Practice holding these positions with as little effort as you can. I mean, it's possible to hold your fingers like this without every muscle in your finger being hard as a rock, but it takes a lot of time and intentional practice. Make sure to take lots of short breaks when attempting these sorts of techniques. Never push through pain or fatigue, and be very gentle with yourself. See how much you can do, right, with as little effort as possible. Also keep in mind the unique shape and structure of everyone's hand. You can't copy anyone's technique to a T because our bodies are different. Now, a video analyzing Shafran's vibrato would not be complete without looking at his famous thumb vibrato, which somehow sounds absolutely incredible. You can see it very briefly in this clip here. It sounds so perfect. We gotta play it again. It's so good. Why hasn't the rest of the cello world figured out how to do this? It's not like it wouldn't be a useful technique. I mean, a lot of cellists avoid using their thumb in lyrical passages because they can't vibrate it. And so it breaks up the flow. And so they have to shift around a lot more. But if you're able to just throw the thumb in there like Daniil, then it would be so much simpler. So perhaps we should learn how. I don't know. So from what I can tell, it seems that the thumb is turned slightly on its back, like so, to take advantage of the extra surface area of the back of the thumb. And I notice he seems to have pulled his finger sort of inward and sort of stacks it on top of the thumb, I guess to give it that strength to hold down the string. He attempts to make his hand as small as possible to allow for agile movement. I'm certainly not very good at this vibrato, but I am considering adding it to my toolbox if I can master it one day. We'll see. I don't know, I find it easier to just use the back of the thumbnail. That's not gonna work. I kind of get it, but it feels just so awkward. So, what did you guys think about Daniil Shafran's vibrato? Did you like my analysis? Do you have anything that you'd like to add? Also, if you have any suggestions for future cellists you'd like me to analyze, please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed watching my content today, please smash the like button for the algorithm, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single upload. If you're interested in private lessons, I do guided practice sessions online through Zoom. It's super affordable and helps you practice at home, giving you access to personalized guidance from me at the most convenient time, during daily practice. Head on over to howtocellocademy.com to learn more. Happy practicing.